Hey everybody, welcome to Spikey Saturday number 187. I'm John as always, and there's a deck on screen. We'll get to that in a second. Couple of quick announcements. Number one, Ultimate Masters. Holy moly, it's an expensive looking set. Well, December 11th, December 18th, and December 25th, Crack-A-Pack Tuesdays will be Ultimate Masters Crack-A-Packs. Now, if you don't watch those aren't just me opening a pack and going, hey, look at what I got. These are draft discussions. I talk about what pack one, pick one would be in there. There's actual strategy in there. Plus, every patron at the $5 level or above gets a chance at winning all of the cards from each week. Or some of the cards, typically people just want the rares. Oftentimes the packs are garbage and the people just don't want anything. But those 3 weeks are going to be Ultimate Masters, and all my patrons at $5 or above will get a chance at winning that full pack of Ultimate Masters. So if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/ManaLeek, sign up at $5 or above before December 1st. You have to get charged for December or else you won't count. So keep that in mind. As well, if you're watching this on Saturday, November 24th, and it's not yet 6 p.m. Eastern, you should go on over to twitch.tv/TheManaLeek, where I will be drafting a good set, unstable, on stream, in paper, with full card recognition. If you've watched the Loading Ready Run drafts, it looks just like that. Less fancy, but just like that. So make sure you check that out. Now, what happened here? Why do I have a deck? Well, I recorded a full hour and 20-minute Spikey Saturday. I removed my microphone from its USB slot after hitting stop on OBS, and my computer blue screened. Something's up with this USB slot specifically. It seems like whenever I pull something out, the computer blue screens, and so I lost the entire recording. And here's the deal. I cannot and will not draft Guilds of Ravnica more than I have to. I'm growing super duper tired of it. It's not a good set. Sometime a week or two before the set review for the next set, I will do a draft post-mortem, and I'm going to attempt to do this going forward, where I talk about the set. Kind of like the Sunset Show from Limited Resources, but I'm going to try to go a little bit more into the design, what I liked, what I disliked, etc. And we're going to rip this set apart. We're going to rip apart the problems with Surveil, the problems with guilds as a whole, when there's only 5 in a draft format, etc. So stay tuned for that. So anyways, here's the draft deck. Unfortunately, I can't show you the draft. Pack 1, pick 1. We picked an electrostatic field because it was a bad pack. To be honest, I can't even remember what was pack 1, pick 1's rare, but the pack was not good. This was honestly one of the best picks in the pack. I think our second best, no, it wasn't even Watcher in the Mist. That was on stream. Anyways, not a good pack 1, pick 1. And then we got a risk factor, so we took that and we kind of headed towards red, and we started to get towards is it, but then Artful Takedowns kept coming by. I got 3, and I think I passed 2 more. So we started to get into Dimir, so I got a couple of Dimir Guild Gates. We picked up a Vraska, pack 3, pick 1, pack 2, pick 1. I think it was pack 2, pick 1. And decided not to play her. And then kind of got towards the end of the pack of pack 3. And It wasn't really there. And it had to have been in part because we were getting cut. But in addition, pack 1, or pack 3, pick 1, pack 3, pick 2, pack 3, pick 3. There was literal nothing for Izzet, so the packs were very against us as well. And so we ended up with this pile. This absolute pile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something a little bit different, and we're going to play the MTGO replays. So this will be a much quicker video as I go very quickly through the 3 matches that we played. This is not something that I will do regularly, because having to play the matches and then having to go back and record voiceover is way too much work. Marshall did this for a little bit, Marshall Sutcliffe, but it took him weeks to produce 1, and there's a reason he doesn't do it anymore, because it's a lot of extra work. But anyways, let's give it a go, and let's go check out match 1, game 1, where I do believe we won the die roll, and so we decided to play first. And let me see if I can figure out how to do this. This is playing at real time, so we just want to go turn by turn. Yeah, so we started out, we had all of our colors with Vraska in hand, which was pretty nifty. We got Vraska out on 4 because our opponent still didn't have anything. And so we just started to plus her up without sacking anything. Vernati's Shieldmate came down, and obviously we could Artful take down that without too much of a problem. So we up Vraska to 8. Vernati's Shieldmate decides to get a Maniacal Rage going, and so we say, we're going to 2-for-1 that, and took it down. Dowser of Light's presenting a serious threat, and as well as protecting Vraska, and they immediately collar the Culprit, killing it. But Vraska is now past emblem level already with an empty board state. So we drop an Electrostatic Field, we sacked an island to Vraska, she is now well above emblem level, and so on this turn I just say, why not? Let's play an emblem, and let's play a crab, and they're dead next turn. If that crab manages to hit, well, they get themselves a blocker, so crab isn't just going to kill them, but we do get to Beacon Bolt, kill the Bounty Agent, and kill them with a Vraska ultimate. And I said this a lot during this recording. I was going to be super angry if we 3-0'd with this deck, because this deck does not deserve to 3-0. But let's go into game 2 of match 1, and let's see how that went. So this match started up, and our opponent drew first. They got themselves a land. We had a hand that had a Piston Fist Cyclops, an Electromancer, a Guild Mage, so we had stuff that we could cast, but we were going to need to hit a Swamp at some point. Draw a Gatekeeper Gargoyle, we drop down the Leek Guild Mage, they get all of their colors, not too much is going to happen here, we're going to get in for 2, drop an Electromancer, Vernati's Shieldmate's going to come back down. We get Vraska and unfortunately can't cast her as we have black and green, but not in separate lands, unfortunately. And that Vernati's Shieldmate's just going to hold us off, so we didn't have much to do here, really. We Whisper Agent and threw away a crab because it wasn't going to do any good. It's turn 7, and we're stuck on 4 lands. We're really trying to find some lands, but we've got a counterspell up. We don't find lands, we find a Glaive instead. We gobble an Electromancer and have to throw the Glaive away because we just had way too many cards. The opponent comes in with the Shieldmate, and we readily trade with the Whisper Agent because I was going to attack with it anyways at that point. This turn we get that land that we really want. We drop a Piston Fist Cyclops because the double Electromancer means that Devious Cover-Up is just counterspell. It's just blue. But we're not countering a Hunted Witness. So we continue drawing cards. We get a mountain. We drop a Sonic Assault. I think we did. I think we Sonic Assaulted in order to get in for a whole bunch of damage here, taking them down to 6. They drop themselves a Loxodon Restorer, which we artfully take down. And we bash in for some more damage. They chump block. They gain some life. They take some damage. We draw another artful takedown. They drop a Ral, which we say, and the opponent concedes. And just like that, with this pile of garbage, we were up by 1. So let's go on into match 2, game 1, and hope that we can keep that going. So match 2, game 1, we lose the draw, I believe. Yes, we did. And we had to mulligan. No. We played our land. We played first. So we dropped a Golgari Guildgate. We had a risk factor that we can play, but we really needed an island here. And we didn't find it. We found a mountain instead. Another mountain. Vraska's there. We get to cast her. And we get to do a risk factor, which obviously just did 4 damage there, unfortunately. We drop Vraska and we kill their Wario-Cappy that they had played, hoping that they weren't going to play a creature, hoping that we could draw anything to save us in here. And this turn got a little bit interesting. We drew a forest, and we played the forest. And then we sacked the forest, and we hit an island. If we hadn't have played that forest, we could have played the island. We could have tapped and sacked a swamp or a mountain, drawn the island, played the island, and Artful Takedown would have been up. And we could have killed the Peacemaker. Unfortunately, that all relied on us knowing that an island was going to be on top. Because if we sacked a land and we didn't draw a land, we were still at 4 lands. And not remotely the lands that we needed to cast the vast majority of our hand. So, may have been the wrong choice, may have been the right choice, I can't quite tell, but Vraska bites it. We continue on, we get ourselves a crab, which we don't play. What did we do? We artfully took down so that we stopped them from having too many creatures. And we get a Dowser, and the Dowser kind of holds the fortress down. But a Siege Worm is going to maybe be a problem. We have the double blocker here, so I felt fairly okay, but then a Flight of Equinaughts came down, and bad stuff was going to happen. We had a Sonic Assault, so we at least were going to buy ourselves some time. We took 4 damage off the Flight because I had to. I couldn't terribly do anything. We had just cast some stuff the previous turn. So this turn I end up Sonic Assaulting that, dealing 2. They play a District Guide, I play more creatures, and really we're just kind of staring at each other here. And I'm desperately trying to get that plant or that island. So we kept the Dimir Guildgate on top from the Whisper Agent, so that we could cast Crackling Drake next turn, because this board, while threatening, wasn't going to kill us. And at least this turn we could cast a Crackling Drake. They drop a World Soul Colossus, which is a problem, because we don't have a great way of killing it. So we go through this game, and we actually ended up with a hell of a turn there. So we actually triple blocked the World Soul Colossus. We used an Artful Takedown to drop the power and toughness of Flight of the Equinaughts, blocking with the Crackling Drake to kill it. It was a great turn, and it really, really could have got us back into this game. We draw an Electromancer, which isn't going to do too much good, but we may as well play the Guild Mage, I suppose. We could have played the Electromancer as well. We could discard the Electromancer to the risk factor, but they're at 16, so it's just not going to do too much work. They drop a Trusty Pack Beast, however, which is going to put us into some really dire straits. We eat a couple of their creatures, they eat a couple of ours, and we go to 1. Well, what do we draw? We draw a Gatekeeper Gargoyle, an Electromancer. It's not going to be enough, and we die. Not fun, not fun. Our opponent made a huge mistake here as well. When we attempted to Artful take down the Ceratok, they responded with Assure, putting a counter on it, giving it indestructible, which of course does nothing against -2, -4. So there were a lot of mistakes from our opponent's side, and the opponent's deck was not great. I really felt like if we had drawn more properly, if we didn't have all of those Is It spells in our hand and know what were we waiting for? We were waiting for a blue source, I believe. I think that game would have gone different. But we go into game 2 with our Is It Dimir Golgari pile of trash, and we decide to play first, and we have an okay starting hand because we can play a Whisper Agent, a couple of lands away from a Gargoyle, 1 mountain away from a Direct Current. I figure, hey, what's the worst that could happen? Well, we could draw a Devious Cover-Up and they could drop a 2-drop, which isn't the best, but we've got Whisper Agent to trade with that Skyline Scout, which we do. They follow it up with a Centaur Peacemaker, and we draw an Artful Takedown because we have so many of them. They attack in, we Artful Takedown, killing their Ceratok at the end of the turn because 4 power is scarier than 3 power. We play a land because next turn we can drop a 2-counter Gargoyle. Hoping they have nothing terrifying, they have a Wild Ceratok, which we Devious Cover-Up? Is that what we did? Yes, I believe so. And we drop the Gargoyle. So the Gargoyle blocks everything they have, which is great. It even blocks this Flight of the Equinaughts. We draw another Artful Takedown. We attempt to Artful Takedown here, but they Might of the Masses the Centaur Peacemaker, keeping it alive. We still have stuff, we still have the Sonic Assault, but boy do we need that second mountain for the Direct Current and for the Crackling Drake. We Sonic Assault to tap that down, and we manage to buy ourselves a turn to draw a Dazzling Lights, which is not going to do enough. They attack in with even more combat tricks, keeping their creatures alive. We Dazzling Lights so that we only take 1 damage off of the Flight, and the Gargoyle bounces off the Peacekeeper. Looking desperately for that mountain, we draw a Swamp. We play the Swamp, we pass the turn. Our opponent kills our Gargoyle with Sprouting Renewal and hits us for a great big bunch, and we draw Vraska, who can kill a Peacemaker, I guess. And so that is what we do. And we figure that our opponent will freak out and attack Vraska, and they do. And so now's our chance, we draw an island. So we don't even play it, because maybe someday we flashback Direct Current for something, right? Well, they hit us for 4 and take us to 5, and we draw a Glaive of the Guild Pact, which we pop down, because why not? And they hit us for 4 and take us to 1, and we draw a Beacon Bolt, which kills Flight of Equinaughts. We're back in it. We're back in it, folks. We kill Flight of the Equinaughts, we pass the turn, and they drop another threat. Well, we have that Beacon Bolt to kill it, thankfully, right? We also have an Artful Takedown. Now, of course, they have the mana to make a soldier in response, so they're still going to have that 1 point of damage they need. So we have to Artful Takedown the champion, they make a soldier, and we have to Beacon Bolt the soldier. Passing the turn, hoping they draw nothing. They draw nothing! So here's our chance. We draw a crab, which we play, and we hook the sword up, and hey, this is good. This is good. And then it gets Luminous Bonds, and they play a 6/6. We draw a Goblin Electromancer, give it the glaive, and they drop an Intrusive Pack Beast, tapping that, and we die. So we go 1-1, unfortunately losing to Selesnya. A better than average Selesnya deck, which still feels very bad. And that's going to be a recurring thing when I do my Guilds of Ravnica post-mortem. So we're 1-1. Let's go on into match 3 here. Match 3, game 1. Hoping for a good game. Hoping for a good game. There's a mountain. We'll see if it's going to be a good game. If it's Boros, who knows? Well, of course it's Boros, and there is one heck of a 2-drop in Boros Challenger. We're in a little bit of trouble. We do not have the red sources that we need. Currently, we can play a Piston Fist Cyclops and a Whisper Agent, and that is about it. We get hit for 2. They drop a Healer's Hawk. We pass the turn with a Piston Fist Cyclops down to hopefully block, and it just punches itself right in its stupid face. We draw Crackling Drake, which we just can never cast. We get to pop in the Whisper Agent, killing the Boros Challenger, but they just replace it with a Wojek Bodyguard. And we drop a Goblin Electromancer, which is not going to do much of anything because they just kill it. And yeah, we just die. We just die. We just die in the air to a whole bunch of damage. We draw a Risk Factor, which isn't going to do it. Utterly destroyed by a 3-mana Boros deck. Not the way you want to go, but the way they usually do go in Guilds of Ravnica. So into game 2 of match 3, trying to stay alive here. We play first, and we get a hand that at least has 2 cards that we can play. So that's what we go with. We get a Goblin Banneret, and we draw a Devious Cover-Up, which is super slow. Not what we want against the Goblin Banneret here. We've got the Whisper Agent Surprise, which we decide to use to kill the Ornery Goblin, keeping the Goblin Banneret up. We pass the turn with a Wishcoin Crab to stop the Banneret from coming in. It comes in. We say, you know what? You want to use your turn, use all your mana to kill a crab. Be my guest. We then draw Direct Current, which obviously we will never cast. They drop a Hellkite Whelp, which we say, Whelp, not today. And we Devious Cover-Up it. Following that, we play even more islands with a Whisper Agent and an Artful Takedown up. They drop themselves a Sky Knight Legionnaire and a Fresh-Faced Recruit, so we say, well, let's throw down a Whisper Agent, Surveil, throw away a Forest, which is doing nothing here, drawing a good old buddy Crackling Drake, who we can never cast. So we Artful Takedown, saving us 2 damage and killing the Sky Knight Legionnaire, and they drop their good old buddies, Boros Challenger and Healer's Hawk. We draw yet another blue-red spell. In fact, we've seen these friends together all day today. All Spiky Saturday we've seen these friends together, just hanging out in the hand. Can we draw that mountain? No. We draw Piston Fist Cyclops, which can block, I guess. And opponent, in a very weird play there, attacked into the Piston Fist Cyclops, had no cards in hand, and chose not to pump the Boros Challenger up high enough so that it lived. This happened a lot in this match and in the previous match. We lost to a lot of misplays on our opponent's side. We drop a Gatekeeper Gargoyle, which I think will keep us alive, and it punches itself in its stupid face, and we die. And we go down 1-2 with a deck that, frankly, I thought probably deserved an 0-3. But we pulled out that first match. Unfortunately, as I said, we did lose that video, and I can't draft this set more than I have to. We don't have that many weeks left of it. We've got, by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 weeks left of it. But yeah, there's some other stuff that we can do. There's definitely going to be Ultimate Masters drafts on Spiky Saturdays. I might just have to do Cube because I can't do this set anymore. It's really awful. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a post-mortem probably a week or 2 before the set review for Ravnica Allegiance, and I'm hoping to do that for sets going forward, because I think it's going to be really interesting, because there is some cool stuff here, and I do want to talk about the cool stuff that is in Guilds of Ravnica. I want to talk about Is It Spells. That's one of my favorite archetypes ever, and it's a pretty cool version of it in here. There's some cool stuff in this set. There's a lot of bad and a lot of bad design decisions, and I just want to chat about all of it. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know, because if everybody hates the idea, I might not do it. But if you're interested, definitely let me know. As I said, we're going to be drafting Unstable tonight, Saturday, November 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/themanaleak with full card recognition and all that jazz, live paper draft, and it's such a good draft format. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you check everything out, as always. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @themanaleak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can find me at facebook.com/themanaleak, twitch.tv/themanaleak, and patreon.com/themanaleak, where, remember, if you sign up at the $5 level or above by December 1st, before December 1st preferably, you will be entered to win Crack-A-Packs each week, as always, except in December, 3 of those Crack-A-Packs will be Ultimate Freaking Masters. So check that out. Click that thumbs up button if you like the content. Click subscribe if you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.